We've gone live. We've gone live. Show it off. Show it off.
Jim's bragging about his latest dingus.
He's bragging about. Look at that.
My wee little dingus. That's right.
So what is that?
So this is the Pico. Let me turn this thing on. So this is the Pico APRS.
With its 4-inch dummy load antenna.
Does it come with the text back to front as well?
The text back to front. What do you mean?
It's backwards because your camera's backwards.
Oh, the camera. Hang on. I can fix that. You still probably can't see it because of the color, but
it's got green on it. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Anyway, we're live, and we're talking about new rigs, new radios, and Jim's just he was showing off his new radio. Here we go.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
Beauty.
How's the GPS on that thing?
Well, inside my brick house
beautiful.
with a metal roof, the GPS is crap. So
he's a brick.
I'm a brick house, baby. I'm a brick house. Mm-hmm. Mighty. So
the mayflies are mating. That's weird. I didn't need to see that.
It'll do. I don't know how well that shows up good.
Oh yeah.
So it can be a regular APRS beacon, receive iGate. It has GPS. The GPS function will tell you how many satellites you got, and it does more than the United States GPS. It'll do GLONASS and some of the other ones.
Yeah.
It's a full KISS TNC.
It's called the Russian GPS.
Bluetooth.
You can do voice on it too, can't you?
Yes, it is a FM transceiver. Absolutely.
That's cool. And
you can also split it with FM and Wi-Fi APRS, and then a digipeater. So yeah, it's pretty swank.
Nice.
And with go ahead.
I was just going to say, Joe just said that he got an FT710. While we're talking about new radios, did you get anything new? Let us know in the chat below if you've got anything new.
I love new things.
So that looks swanky, but that's expensive, right?
Well,
are we talking new or new to me new?
New to me
new. To
I
you
bought
new.
this off of eBay. Oh, yeah. No.
Or anyone, yeah, new to you new.
It is
because I got a FT2600M broken on eBay. I want to try and fix it for upcoming video series.
Are we going to do that on Nuggets?
Don't know. We might do a little tech out. I don't know. I gotta see how we feel about it because I need to like introduce it to the world and then figure out what's wrong with it and then order parts. And then the last time I ordered parts from Yaesu, the postman literally died on the way to deliver the package, and nobody cared but me. Like the package made it all the way to the side of the road in Oklahoma somewhere, and nobody bothered to go say, "Hey, are you okay, buddy? Everything all right? You haven't moved in like 6 weeks. Everything good?"
Did you go and do a welfare check and pick up your parcel at the same time?
Right.
No, it was too far away from me. I mean, it was still multiple states away. And then, this was the Yaesu FT891 that I fixed, and it had a broken knob. So this one's got a broken knob. So hopefully the story is going to be, I bought this thing on eBay for $40. I fixed it and I sold it for $200.
How do you break a knob on a radio?
Drop it.
Yeah.
It's actually really easy to do. I don't have the ability to share pictures if Andrew's asking me for a picture, but Hayden, if you want to share, or Jim, if you want to share, FT2600M, it's a 2-meter only, and it's got a 9-pin DB9 on the back, which could be serial, could be TNC, could be, microphone connector, could be any kind of crazy, stupid stuff.
I'll bring up the photo in a second. Just want to say thank you to James for becoming a new YouTube member. Thank you very much, Jim.
Everybody at the campground's looking at me like I'm weird.
So, actually, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So this
Lee, what is the 2600? What is the port on the back of the 2600M? Yep, that's the one.
That looks old school. That does.
What's her end look like, Hayden?
Yeah, check out that rear. Looking fine from behind.
Let's have a look.
I've got a 2880 I bought from Tom, KE4R.
DB9.
What's that say? It just says DB9? No, it says 20.
It says
20
D-sub 9-pin data connector, and here's all the pins.
Nice. Yep. 1200 and 9600 and PTT and squelch. Oh, sweet. Might not be selling this radio. At least for a year.
but also not just so. Even though Yaesu say TX data in here, you can actually put in just normal audio too. You don't have to. It's not like it's a data stream, right?
It's not a data stream any more than anything else is a data stream. It's just varying voltages, but it's a known standard.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I would
they
need
do that with a lot of their radios.
I can't hook it like directly to a serial port. I need to break it out into something and then break that something into serial. So I need a USB to TNC adapter. Like a DigiRig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, goodness gracious. Simon says that he is 35,000 feet between Sydney and Melbourne. Are you on the plane Wi-Fi watching us at the moment, Simon? I sent you an email actually. I sent you an email yesterday to see. Did I send you an email or did I comment on your video? I think I commented on your video to ask you how that trip was going. He's flown from Vancouver, I think, down. So
I can think of nothing better to do on a plane than ham radio nonsense.
Right.
Well, I'm surprised that the Wi-Fi is that good. So,
no, he didn't say it was good.
I've never used airplane Wi-Fi, not once.
When I come over from,
what was the last time you flew, Jim? Air Force?
The year of our Lord 2001 commercial.
Yeah, they didn't have Wi-Fi back then. They hadn't invented it yet.
No, not on.
Did you know
we had 802.11b? You shut up at 11 megabits per second.
Right.
Not on airplanes.
Here's a bit of trivia for you. Do you know where Wi-Fi was invented?
No.
I'm going to guess Hobart.
Hobart.
Mm-hmm.
Get away.
Yep. By
the front door.
By the CSIRO. They lodged the patent for it in when was it? CSIRO. In the 90s, I know that.
Yeah, I've seen Wi-Fi and used Wi-Fi since the late 90s.
But yeah, it's an Australian invention. And it's still crap. We can't get good Wi-Fi. Nah, it's pretty good. When I came over to America, I used Wi-Fi on the plane, which was good. They had Wi-Fi on the international flight using on Air New Zealand. Qantas didn't have on an international flight, but yeah, Air New Zealand did, and it was pretty cool because it wasn't that good, but you could still load certain things. And I remember messaging, I think UTO and a few others while I was coming over, which was pretty good. And you could still look up web pages and stuff, but you couldn't watch YouTube. It just didn't load.
No Netflix, no YouTube.
No Netflix. No. None of those. Everyone's asking about the 7610. I guess I should do the big reveal that I did buy a new radio.
Ta-da! Why does it come in 2 boxes?
Well, so the first box obviously is the 7610, and the other box is an external speaker. And I did not buy the external speaker because I thought I should buy the external speaker. There was a promotion that was on that ICOM Australia had running, and they said if you buy a 7610 in the month of February, then you get a free speaker. And then they also said that on the 1st of March, the price was going up. So I thought, well, I better get in now before the price goes up. Yeah. And got the speaker for free. So, but it's still in the box because I've felt like rubbish all week. I've not felt very well, and I want to do a proper video on the unit. So I know that it's a radio that's like 7-8 years old now. It is a big unit.
He said unit.
It is a big unit.
Absolute unit.
Absolutely. Are you trying to take me off? Are you?
No, that's not bad words. It just has bad meanings. They're 2 very good words that are misinterpreted.
Really?
The big unit was a pitcher in the American baseball. Randy Johnson was called the big unit also.
Yeah. Funny enough, I know who that is.
I think absolute unit refers to like an overweight person.
No, not necessarily. We would say he's an absolute unit would be not overweight but stocky. Stocky, built, like strong, muscly sort of guy. Yeah,
larger than they should be in any measurement.
Unit. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, hands
Well, it
down.
depends.
All right, champ. I appreciate it.
See, this is why we invited you, Jim, so we can make fun of you to your face instead of behind your back
Yeah.
like we do every stream without
Right.
you.
Right.
Yeah. Frank's, did you catch the
You should-
news
you
on
should go
Josh's
back and
live
watch them.
stream? I don't know what news it is. I did not see it, no.
Let us in. Clue us in.
421. Let's see where Simon is at the moment. But where are you, Tio? You're
I'm in
you're,
Ennis.
You're excuse me?
Ennis with an E. I guess that doesn't clear things up. Ennis. Ennis.
It doesn't.
Ennis.
It looks very
Ennis.
nice.
Ennis, Texas. Look at that. Hi, y'all. I'm out here on the river. This is just south of Dallas, Fort Worth area.
What's in
Looks
front of
nice.
What's in front of me?
you? Well, you can't show that.
Campers, other people setting up.
It looks nice. Is that a lake?
It's
Looks
a
nice
lake
down
or a
there.
river. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah. People fishing
then-
down there.
Where am I? I am over. Nope, not over there. I can't even tell where I'm at.
You're there, ain't you? There. Is that you?
We see
There.
it.
No. It's like I'm pointing at it in my side. There it is. I'm on the corner right over my shoulder. Right here. Right there. Like, look at my shoulder. That's the white truck. It's a new truck. Don't tell anybody. I got a new truck.
Is that close to a poda
I
or
still have
anything
the old
like
truck
that?
too. This is a COE, a Corps of Engineers campsite. So the U.S. Army goes by and they do like major rehabilitation projects. I don't know what you would call it, but like the river that's over here has probably got some massive dam on it, and the Army Corps of Engineers maintains the dam. And because there's nothing else to do with the Army Corps of Engineers, it's called Mott, M-O-T-T, Mott Park.
Mhm.
Because there's nothing else to do with the land because it's in a flood zone. They make a campground out of it.
Nice.
Head down to Austin. I was in Austin like a month ago. Dennis,
Oh,
I
I
did not
see.
get a new truck. Don't tell anybody. Shh.
I
It's a
see
secret.
Simon's head right there.
That is Simon. Hang on, Simon. We'll zoom up even more. Look at this.
He's hauling.
He's literally just flown across the New South Wales Victorian border across the Murray River, and he is flying. Look, I can't even keep up with him.
How fast is he going? It should tell you.
He's going 500 miles an hour or 800
Nice.
kilometers an hour. Now going over. How far are you? You've gone past. You've gone past Canberra. Yeah. Not far out of Melbourne. How far? 30
He says
minutes.
he's almost
You'll-
over Threadbow.
How far is it
Thread-
from Sydney to Melbourne?
about an hour and a half flight or something, or an hour's flight. Hour's flight. Yeah.
Not too bad. Okay.
No, it's not very far.
So if you guys want to know more about the truck, be sure you're subscribed to my RV channel, Livin' for a Livin'. You can look it up as @Livin' for a Livin' RV on YouTube, all one word.
Do you want to drop that in the chat?
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
You can do that. Qantas is good streaming. Domestic flight, almost at Melbourne. Just going through some of the more chat. 773 Ham Radio. That's Dennis, isn't it? Has Dennis
That is.
changed his
It
YouTube
is.
name?
The former Adam Dennis.
Thanks for inventing Wi-Fi. You're welcome. Tesla invented Wi-Fi. Well, technically, probably true.
Right after Al Gore invented the internet.
So
So,
Jim
Jim-
probably stole it from Tesla. Andy,
Jim, you told me about the TV series For All Mankind. I think it was
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where Al Gore made the election. He became president in this alternative U.S. timeline
Alternative
thing that's
history,
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good show. But instead of saying he invented the internet, which I think he may have still said in the timeline, he also said that he invented like asteroid mining or something stupid. He took credit for discovering an asteroid, like
Yeah.
took it away from the entire world, and the boy's never been in space.
Wow.
Sounds like something you do.
I think he's been in space.
Yeah.
Spaced
I mean,
out.
even though he's not in politics, I think he's still making a fool of himself here lately anyway. So there's all that.
Thank you to Matthew, KD9WSW, for becoming a YouTube member.
Oh, hell, I don't even have to dance. You got TL full screen.
Everyone's.
Look at those moves.
You got people over your shoulder going, what the heck is he doing?
Yeah.
Honey,
I'm
I
all right
think
with
that
that.
man's having a spasm or something.
Like I'm worried about being embarrassed in public at this point.
Someone
I'm
called
like
the
400
paramedics.
YouTube videos in. I'm all right.
You do get. I still get embarrassed in public if I'm filming. It is. I'll be honest. I do. But
Thanks, Dennis.
Dennis says, I guess that means I'm not going to Hamvention. Look,
The 7610 money.
Don't even talk
You're,
about it.
you're flying Air Icom, flight 7610.
I'm flying on some budget carrier that's like got propellers.
4.5, you know me too well.
You'll have to pedal.
We're going about half the speed of smell.
So
how far is this flight going? All the way to the scene of the crash.
So the decision is going to be made, I think, this week on whether we come over or not. In actual fact, I was going to talk to Simon because I could fly to Vancouver and then I can go from Vancouver down.
Nice.
Which is an option. I can go to New York City, which would be pretty cool. We're looking at going New York City and then to Washington, and then across.
Dude, this old man down here coming off the boat, he's got a Coffee and Ham Radios tumbler. The guy in the black hoodie.
Town.
Sweet.
You sure? Can you zoom right in?
We can't tell that from here.
No, I can't tell it from here either. But it's a black tumbler with etched engravings on it. So I'm going to go with it. It makes me happy.
It makes for a good story.
Right.
Now, if he turns around and goes, "Is that T.O.?" I'm going to be like really shocked.
That's the narrative, at least.
Are you on that Ham Radio DX show?
almost as shocked as that time I went to San Antonio and saw somebody watching a Hayden video in a hotel lobby.
Have you? Did we share that ever? Did we ever share that?
We did. Yeah, we did. Because I got the picture of the back of him.
T.O.'s in some random hotel
bar,
whatever.
Hotel lobby.
And there's this guy with a laptop, and he just snaps his photo. And he's like, check this out. And I'm like, oh, who's that? What ham's that? And he's like, I have no idea. It was just some random guy that I found watching you on YouTube. I mean,
what are the chances of seeing that, you know?
They're pretty low.
The world famous Hayden.
So coming back, though, is a problem. I probably have to go out of Dallas, Fort Worth, and then calculated the price. And, oh, my goodness, it's expensive. They've got sales on at the moment, but they're not really that cheap. It's going to cost quite a bit of money to come over. Like, I'm talking about quite a lot of money. And that's before. And then, so I thought about it. I looked at it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I can afford that, because we were looking at, obviously, accommodation in places like New York and Washington would be hell expensive, especially when you add everything else in. But then I was like, I got to pay for tips.
Tips.
I'm gonna have to tip. That's what's gonna break the budget.
You guys don't do that. I hate doing it, but it's the way of the world over here.
We don't do that because we have minimum wages here. So
we do too.
We do too. Yeah. And some places where you go, they get paid the regular minimum wage, and they also get tips, not the discounted minimum wage. Like Minnesota, you get regular minimum wage.
So tips is not a part of the culture here, but sometimes in some restaurants you will have a tip jar that you can put something in if you want, but we don't generally tips because I think we pay our people well. So you could save some money.
Tell 22 an hour. Wow.
Tell Crystal it's a business trip and just leave her at home.
I thought you were going to say put her on the payroll.
He'll save a lot of money, because when he gets home, he won't have a mortgage anymore. He won't have anybody to take to dinner anymore.
I don't have that anyway. But what I'm saying is, the problem is that I won't save money, because it's either you spend all this money to get over there and actually experience it, but not buy anything at Hamvention, or you come over there to experience it and buy stuff at Hamvention, then you're still broke. So it doesn't really matter.
It's a challenge. Now, do you guys have Hamfests over there, right?
Yeah, but
in Australia.
Yeah, but they're not like
not that big. None of them are that big.
No, Hayden live streams his Hamfest. We've seen it.
Well, that was one that we had here, but there was only like 120 people at that one.
Oh.
Uh-oh. What'd you get, Frank?
But like, I'm talking like 3, maybe like there's one. Most of the ones that are here, the bigger ones, are run at a time where it's a bit inconvenient for me to go. So like where Simon's going at the moment, he's going to Melbourne. That probably has the largest one now. There used to be one that was run regularly in Sydney that was the largest, that would probably get like, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 people maybe. But it's not
okay.
I'm not talking like, you're not talking like 10,000 people or something. There's only 13,000 hams, 15,000 hams in Australia, mate. So
We had 25,000 hams show up to Hamcation in Orlando, Florida in February.
Mm.
Yeah.
We had more hams show up to one ham fest in the U.S. than you have in all of your country.
Yep.
For 5 or 6 years.
Get to work, Hayden.
Chip
Well,
chop.
I'm trying.
Chip chop,
I'm trying.
son. Chip chop.
You got this,
There's-
champ.
What is? I would think as remote as Australia is, especially the middle part.
Mm.
I don't know. I would just think you guys have a
Oh,
fairly
Diesel
high
Horn
amount
Frank.
of hams.
A what? A sort of
A high ham per capita ratio.
no, it's very low. So there's 25 million people in Australia, and
Okay.
there is about last count there is about 13,500 hams. We've just recently dropped the license fee, so we don't have to pay that every year, and exams have now gone free. So we should be now pushing, we should be having a large drive, a large push of people to get their license now. If there's literally no reason. It doesn't cost you anything unless you actually pass.
What is the license fee run for you guys?
So it used to be annually, so you'd pay about $52 a year annually, but that's been dropped now. So now it's like you just log in and you just renew yourself every 5-10 years. 5 years, I think it is.
Okay. You know, when we went to the paid license here, was that last year, Steve, or 22? I don't remember.
I think 2 years ago. It's been a long time.
The outcry, it was as if a billion voices cried out all at once. Because they had to pay $35 for 10 years of a license. And before then, we had
$3.50 a year.
Yeah,
Yes,
$3.50.
Literally, $3.50, $3.50 a year. And man, you would have thought that the end of the world was nigh.
So just going back to Simon, Qantas Direct, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Air Canada, it's direct every day, but their time slot sucks. Yeah, I found quite a few of those. You would arrive at
Hayden,
you'd leave early and arrive very late.
I think our friend Scott is absolutely correct. I think you should head to Alabama instead of seeing Dayton.
That's right. Come on, son. Skip Dayton, whatever. Huntsville is the schniz. As a matter of fact, because I am awesome, if you and Crystal decide you're going to come to Huntsville, I will give up my cabin, the single cabin with a double bed for y'all, and I'll figure out someplace else to stay.
When's Huntsville?
August?
Third week of August.
Mm,
Because I have the only single cabin right now. There's only one, and I've got it.
We ham all
last
week
year-
long on the mountain.
How many
accidentally
people
got
go to
it last
Huntsville?
year, told Chuck the day he was leaving Mofo.
30
you
or
ain't got no place to
40,000, I
stay.
think.
Good luck.
30 or 40,000 to Huntsville. More than Hamvention.
No.
Well, if there's
5,000.
if there's 25, no, there's a lot of people that go. I don't know the exact number, but if there's 25,000 at Orlando,
Huntsville is much. Are you talking about Hamvention? Or
I'm
Huntsville?
No, or-
how many at Huntsville?
Hamcation was 25,000 people
Right.
this past February.
Hamvention is probably at least that many.
So how many do you think were at Huntsville compared to the crowd size at Orlando? Do you think 5?
It runs about 5,000, maybe 6. I've seen the numbers on their page. I haven't looked at it recently, but yeah, it's about 5,000 or so.
David is asking, what is the best Hamfest in VK land? It is probably the Rosebud Radio Fest, I think, is probably, from what I hear, is the best. The last Hamfest that I went to, which is outside of my state here, was back in 2010. So I haven't been to an Australian Hamfest outside of here for 14 years, and that Hamfest doesn't exist anymore. There are quite a few events that are happening and that are going on. So I want to try and get around some of them if I can.
Andy looked it up.
21,000.
21,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mark saying about 13,000 active. Sorry, not all 13,000 are active. Well, that's like that anywhere. It's like the US. What, you've got 700,000 hams, but how many are actually active?
12.
Not that many.
And all of them have YouTube channels.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Andy, there's more CBers than hams in Australia. That's probably true. Maybe.
Yeah, well, you guys have
CB
UHF
had
CB, so that's helpful.
We got UHF CB and 27 megahertz CB. So CB was a massive thing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and a lot of people do use UHF CB to communicate when they're out in the bushland. The problem is obviously the limited range of UHF CB. It's very kind of similar to GMRS, except GMRS, you've got high powers. We're limited to 5 watts. We can't run any more than 5 watts. So
Huntsville is 5,000. Andy, I don't know where he found that, but I'm looking at their Twitter. The 2022 numbers were 54,420.
5420.
5,420 for Huntsville Hamfest.
Across all the days?
That's what they said in their Twitter.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you multiply that by 2 days, that'd get you 10,800. But I don't think there's ever been 21,000 because I don't think the venue is big enough. When you compare the size of the venue at Orlando or Dayton, right?
But
that boneyard at Dayton is what, 2 or 3 football fields of boneyard, and it's wall to wall people.
It kind of it's. I know that the end goal here is which Hamfest do you go to, but it doesn't really matter that much about which Hamfest it is. It's more about getting there, and also the time that you spend there is where it costs the dough. Like we pay 67 cents. It's our 67 cents to every American dollar. So everything costs about 1.5 times the price that it would here. So once that all adds up very, very quickly. So if I say tip someone for $10, it's actually really costing me like $16, right? So that's where there's a lot of money goes out of the pocket.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine how much it would cost you. I mean,
well, last time, I'm trying to think how much we spent. We probably spent last time total trip. It would have been at least 10 grand to come over. It was expensive, but I mean that was a holiday as well. It was a holiday for us.
Right, you guys were over here for a couple of weeks, so that's actually not that terrible
too
for a couple
bad.
of weeks.
Yeah, it's not too bad for a holiday for a couple of weeks. But I mean, there's a lot of places that we could go that are a lot cheaper.
I think you'd like Huntsville, like Steve said. He's going to be there all week. I'll be there half the week.
That'd be great.
And we hung out, we played radio, and got our nerd on.
Let's just do a Simon check. He's
zooming.
I know. Has he gotten any faster? It's 520 miles an hour, still cruising along. 18 minutes out from landing. So I hope that Simon, and I hope that you're going around all of the passengers on the plane and sharing them this link so that they can all jump on the Wi-Fi and subscribe as well.
I don't know where I heard this before, but some of the airplanes, they have the big screens on the back of the chair in front of you, and you can play like trivia with other passengers. This guy was like, I signed on to the trivia with the name The Pilot, and then I made sure I got every answer wrong.
Just going through. Shane's here. Hello, Shane. Maybe Simon's not watching anymore. He's on his final approach to Hellbourne.
Hellspawn.
Lee, what is the purpose of going to a US Hamfest? Hang out and be social. See how much cheap ham stuff you can get. This goes to which one to go to. So for me, well, last year the purpose was to meet everyone and to was social, hang out, enjoy. Kind of. It was good to go to something that size and see some of the bargains on the table. Not that I could buy that much because I'm limited on how much I could take back. Most of the stuff that I wanted to buy was too big to fit into a suitcase. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I probably prefer the social aspect over the actual what is at the Hamfest.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, I think a part of it, so this is where it gets weird. There's this cross section. I think if you went by yourself and had no friends in the area, you would have a good time looking at all the stuff that's available and maybe seeing some of the new products that are coming out and that kind of thing. Now, I think you have more fun if you go and there's a bunch of friends there. And then the combination of those two things where it's like all of your friends like looking for deals for you. Like Carlos was like, I want an amplifier, and K6ARK found one for him. And then like, what's the best deal of the Ham Fest? And we're talking about the $18 corn dogs at Hamcation, which was just ridiculous.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Right. So it's an adventure no matter how you spin it. But I think like having friends that are ham people doing a ham thing together at a large venue like that is where it's this conglomeration of it's this mesh awesomeness. Okay, it's great.
And Simon is going to shout out. He's going to give us a shout out on the plane and yell out the old woohoo as well. So
right,
good stuff.
I think Steve told me this a couple years ago, and it's a great point. He made the point, and it's kind of the same thing for me, I guess. He's not really going to buy stuff. First of all, he ain't got no room for anything.
You're right, Joe.
His wife would put him out of the trailer. He'd have to sleep on top of the trailer. And, it's just to hang out and meet people. Then you get some random Aussie some gun that shows up where he's not supposed to be.
Yeah, he was not supposed to be there. Yep.
That was funny.
That was funny. Hysterical afterwards. Yeah. At the time, I was, somewhat...
In shock.
Kerfluffled.
Yeah. That was not the word you used, I can tell you that.
It's your stream. I'm trying to keep it, PG.
Yeah.
I did think you'd be bigger. I thought he'd be
really?
bigger.
In which way?
No.
And no.
Yeah. See, that was... I think I've shared all that before as well. Like that was relatively easy to get in and out of because of flying via New Zealand to get there, because Chicago is a very convenient destination because it's pretty close to Dayton, so you can just get straight in. Tio was already coming down, so he picked us up. Whereas this time round, I can't do that. I can't go that way because of flight logistics and other problems. Plus, I don't like flying as well. So
point of order, if you check your starred comments, Mr. Garth over there has offered to give you transportation from DC to Dayton.
Well, thank you very much, Garth. I see that now.
And I can vouch for him. He's good on most days.
Let me see. What day was it that we were going to travel? Maybe a Sunday. So, well, yes. So that is a possibility because we're looking at the museums. Museums in Washington were told to us to be pretty good, and they're all free apparently. So,
yeah, Smithsonian. Yep.
Yeah. So go there. The space one as well. I think there's a space.
The National Air and Space Museum is in DC, and then there's the second one that's in Dulles, Virginia, which is from where you are, close enough to drive to.
See, Mark says fly to Dallas, then use a domestic flight. Yeah, that is a potential option. So flying to somewhere into the US and then going a domestic flight. Although I don't really want to fly domestically in the US because A, I don't like flying, and B, I don't really want to. So I don't know. What is domestic flying like in the US? It's all right. Eh.
Well, if you fly on Southwest, our buddy Shane is in the chat here. If you fly on Southwest, they love you and it's great and you can feel it. If you fly on just about any other airline, they hate your guts.
They hate you and want you to die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why I don't fly commercial. I hate flying commercial.
Yeah.
So Shane,
I've flown twice on what is it, American Airlines, and you just feel like another piece of luggage.
Yeah.
So there are five main carriers that fly from Australia to the US. They are Air Canada, Air New Zealand if you go via New Zealand, Qantas, United, and American Airlines. So they're the five. The destinations are Vancouver, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Dallas, and New York via New Zealand. You can go to Chicago if you go via New Zealand as well. And I remember when we come over the last time, Shane, he was tracking our flight when he was when we were coming over the water over the Pacific. So that gave me actually I don't know if I ever told you that, Shane, too. That gave me a lot of as someone who does not enjoy flying, and was on a lot of Valium at the time, that
Really?
that gave me a lot of not trust, relaxation. It was good to know that someone was keeping an eye out on the flight and was saying, "You're right, you're nearly here, blah, you're not that far away," etc. So
The plane statistically isn't going to crash at this point. Is that
look it up, Jim. I mean, the people that I know, it's completely irrational. It's the statistics, all it's all that stuff. It's not that. It's just I don't know what it is. It must be a.
I hate clowns, so I feel your pain.
Well, see,
I don't know how you get past the
it's
mirror in the morning.
Thanks, champ.
Yep.
Well, see, to me that sounds ridiculous, and then for you, it probably sounds ridiculous the other way around, right? So,
Yeah, the flying thing, I'm not scared of flying at all. But
it's not the plane that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. It's Steve nailed it. They treat you like luggage or cattle, and you know what happens to cattle? They put you in the chute. Bazinga! Next thing you know, you're a steak on somebody's plate.
I must say that Air New Zealand, they really looked after us. And just quickly, John talking about the wheels and doors falling off planes. That's only if you fly United, right? So
Alaskan Airlines, they lost a door.
Well.
Yeah.
So
United, they beat up a passenger, literally.
United also, didn't they have a plane the other day land in Houston and it skidded off the runway or something like that, and it was like sideways?
Yeah. Went in a ditch.
Yeah. Simon is only 9 minutes out, so he's not far away from landing.
So another half an hour to his luggage.
Yeah.
At least.
When I shared that I was going over, it was good because I got reached out to by another ham who lives in New Zealand, and he actually flies he's a pilot and he flies those aircraft. And he tried to, it was a bit late. He actually sent me a message when I got over there, and he said it was a little bit late to actually change the flights around because he said, I'll fly you back. I'll try and get on the scheduled flight to fly you back. And, he couldn't do that, but he messaged one of his mates who was the other pilot, who was the pilot on that day, and said to him, "Hey, I got this guy. He's a little bit nervous about flying, blah blah blah." And then I'm sitting in the terminal at Chicago, and waiting to depart, and then I hear this. We're half an hour from departure, or 45 minutes, or whatever. We hear this announcement come over and says, can Mr. Hayden Honeywood please come to the front desk? And I'm like, so anyway, I went up there. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, please come with me like this. And we go down the thing, like all these business class passengers are standing waiting to board. And I've just gone straight in front of them and then down the thing, and then got there. And then they were like, the crew were like, oh, yes, I'll just take you this way. And they took me up to the cockpit. So I was able to sit in the cockpit of a new Boeing Dreamliner, which is pretty awesome. So, But yeah, if you don't get that, I definitely didn't feel like a piece of luggage that day, Jim.
I've got to tell you, Steve is right about Southwest, and I would say this even if Shane wasn't on here. Southwest is probably the best airline for people treatment. My daughter she's 13 now. She used to live in Boston, and she would fly unaccompanied. So her mom literally had to put her on the airplane, and I had to be waiting at the airplane gate to get her off. And so one time she comes down here and they call me and say, your daughter will be a little delayed getting off the plane. She's getting a tour of the cockpit. So she and one other little boy that were on the plane, both flying unaccompanied, got to go sit in the big seats. And I have a picture of her at the controls of whatever Southwest flies, 737 probably. But yeah, she loves Southwest. She told me she hates Delta. Her words, 7-year-old.
Mark's probably right too. The less domestic flying you do, the less chance that your luggage is going to get misrouted, potentially. And that's not really so much of a big deal, I suppose, if you live in the country. But if you don't live in the country and all of your luggage is like literally what you're using, then it does become a bit of an issue.
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
I got to Korea with nothing but the clothes I was wearing.
Mm.
My wife did that. She flew to Hawaii with nothing but the clothes she was wearing.
I mean, I brought
And
more
had no
than,
luggage.
than
Right,
what I
right. The
was
luggage,
wearing.
the luggage wasn't there. They found
Yeah.
it a couple days ago. She went to one of the local shops and got a bikini and stayed on the beach for a day.
Did you say a
Hawaii
couple of days
sucks.
ago?
No, her luggage didn't arrive for a couple of days.
Oh, I thought you said she just flew to Hawaii recently.
Mine got there the next day, but I had to wash everything.
She doesn't
in the
like to
bath-
fly.
Had to wash everything
we'll
in
see.
the bathtub and hope for the best.
Well, see, I've invited you to come to Australia, but that was the excuse that you've used.
My wife doesn't like to fly. Yeah, I'd be going
Yeah.
by myself.
Yeah. Well, I think Shane did some sort of calculation, and he realised that he could fly down here to Hobart for very, very cheap with his Southwest Airlines stuff. So Shane will have to come down. Simon's on final approach.
Nice.
So, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Well, look, this sale, which is still pretty expensive sale, ends tomorrow. So we'll see what happens anyway. There's some other maybe potential sales coming up, but yeah. Plus, I actually enjoyed traveling by train because you got to see all of the different scenery. So, like, we were going through, like, you know, the warmish areas of California and the alpine areas, and we saw the snow, and then we come into Utah and Nevada
Into
and
where?
the deserts. Hey,
Into where?
into Nevada and Utah.
Okay.
Do you say Nevada? Nevada.
No, I
Nevada,
was listening
Nevada,
to you
yeah.
say it. It was just
And then
Utah
Colorado,
and Nevada.
and then Colorado. And, you know, so it was kind of nice. We got to see all of the different scenery.
That would be a really nice train trip. I'm kind of envious of you for that because that'd be pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. So the trip to go from Vancouver would be similar. So we could probably go into Dallas, and then I don't know what To's doing, but getting from Dallas up is not that hard either.
I don't know what I'm doing either.
No.
Shane is a airline worker. I guess that's the easiest way to say that. And he says put a change of clothes in your carry-on. So
Yeah.
if somebody from the airline says that, then it's very routine, not just a little tiny bit routine.
Right.
Eric, use your YouTuber money to fly private. Yeah, sure. I'll just get on and see if Taylor Swift's not using her plane for the weekend or something, and see if she can come
If
over
she's
and
not
use
using
that.
your plane, remember she borrows it from you.
Right.
You big fancy YouTuber.
Well, I mean, we have to use that cash to light our cigars too. I mean,
Right.
You know.
And every so often I run out of cash and have to use toilet paper instead.
Do you know how much the cheapest business class return seat is?
No.
From here,
Tell us.
it's
Tell us.
about $8,000. Now this is Australian, $8,000 return.
Oh.
Alexa, convert 8,000 Australian dollars to US dollars.
It's about 5,000.
8,000 Australian dollars is 5,301 US dollars and 59 cents.
See?
I don't know
Did
the
that
rate.
answer your question?
Yes, shut up.
Jim, I'll tell you, you really need to be polite to the AI because they are going to take over, and
Yeah.
you're going to be the first one to die.
I welcome our AI overlords.
It didn't sound like you were.
No, you don't. So Shane asks, how's the 7610? It is still boxed up because I've not been feeling well, and I want to do a proper video on it. So yeah.
He doesn't want to give the radio the
question
Rona.
for you. How is your DX Commander held up? Because you've had
Good.
yours up probably a year or so longer than mine.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've had it up for 3 years. It's still out in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's
A
held
year
up
or
okay.
so longer than me is what I said.
Yeah, it's held up okay. I was concerned about the UV because we get very strong UV here.
Right.
So I was worried that it would fade, but it hasn't faded at all. It hasn't become brittle. I lower it occasionally if there's very, very strong winds.
William asking the important questions.
But yeah, it's good. It's the only thing I've had to do with it over the last few years is I have had to just adjust the elements a little bit because there must be a bit of stretch.
Yep.
And they do become a little bit slack, but that's easy enough because all you need to do is I think I've only adjusted them once where I've just chopped the ends off of the spade connectors at the bottom, put on a new spade connector and it's been perfect. And you're only chopping off this much. It doesn't really adjust the tuning that much.
I was on the radio yesterday on 20, and the reason this is the reason I was asking. And 20, it kept tuning. It would tune and then it would go out of tune, and I mean, the tuner was going nuts. I'm like, I don't even know what the heck's going on. So today, I got out there and I started looking at it, and my 20-meter wire was just basically in a giant loop on the ground.
Yep.
It had. I don't know. And there was another element too that was all jacked up. So I had a Rapide that was up over on my shop, and I took it down and swapped it. The big DX Commander's offline at the moment, but I'm going to have to redo all my elements because they were, the 20-meter element was completely dorked. It was like 6 or 12 inches of slack in it. And we've had some high winds here, and I think it's also contributed to the stretching.
You do have to maintain it and just check it after winds and stuff, just to make sure that an element hasn't come loose or anything like that. Yeah. Quickly, I did see a question. Here we go. Al, interested to hear how you got to the decision of 7610 as the next radio. So there was a couple of reasons. A lot of people say that they're just two 7300s in one box, which is not entirely true. They have two independent receivers. You get 2 antenna ports on the back. You get an extra, I think, receive antenna in and out. You can lock it to a frequency standard if you need to. You can use it as a transverter driver output as well. It has display out, which I'm going to use a lot for streaming. So I'm going to do some more streaming stuff because I used to have to film the screen of the radio. I don't like that. So I'm going to be able to use the display out. It has the familiar icon menus that I'm familiar with. It has...
They're a little touch different. They're just different enough.
Yeah. There's something else. There's something else with it. There's other stuff as well. Like I've got a homemade cable to run this microphone through the radio, and I've had to put in like a capacitor and a circuit and everything because the 7300 outputs a voltage on the microphone connector, and you can't turn it off. But in the 7610, it's a push button switch, and you can turn it on and off.
That's right.
So there's stuff like that. So yeah, there's some bits and pieces that are slightly different, but the main thing is I'm going to move my 7300 to be used as my portable rig, so I can take that around to do POTA, stuff like that, and the 7610 is going to be the base rig, so it's going to run all that sort of stuff. So
you'll have to get a DVI to HDMI adapter.
It's got IQ out via USB. That's pretty sweet.
It has built-in IQ. Yes, that is correct. Yep. So you can actually run an SDR from the IQ port and have a ginormous high-res pen adapter instead of the 800 by 600 screen.
So technically, you could have 3 receivers technically because you'd have the two receivers inbuilt into the radio plus a third one if you drive an SDR out, right?
It has an onboard receive antenna as well.
Yeah,
I think it has a couple. I don't remember now. I sold mine, but I loved it. It was a great radio. It was a great radio.
Yeah. The only thing that was holding me back for a while was obviously I used the money last year to come to Dayton, but the other one was the fact that it's close to 7 years old now. But then I kind of worked out, I was like, well, if ICOM come out with a different radio, a different replacement, then for the 7610, they're going to hold their value, right? It's not going to be like they're going to drop overnight because ham radios don't do that.
Nope. Those and boomsticks both hold their value pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get a 30 or 40-year-old tube radio for darn near what they paid for it brand new.
in good condition. So they don't inflation adjust, but they do hold their
Yeah.
they hold the price tag that they got when you bought it new pretty clear.
Steve, you started to ask something a second ago.
I did, and now I think that's gone. Oh no,
SDR,
we did it.
IQ.
We did a chip show on this once, didn't we, Hayden? On the 7610 versus
the FT710 and the FTDX10. I think it was those two
Yeah.
radios.
yeah. Kind of an unfair
And
comparison, but we went through all of this stuff.
Well, I think we picked those three because of the DVI out, because they all have display out was the main reason behind that, I think. And they
The
were
101
roughly,
is the closest Yaesu to the 7610.
yeah. But even that's still more expensive, isn't it? Because you've got the
It might be the 101D is not. The MP is.
the
yes.
200-watt one, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's more the contest station.
The other
Thump
thing
has a 101, but I don't remember which one he has.
Yeah, and I've got I've been used to ICOM stuff as well, so
Right.
yeah, it's just Anyway, it's one of those things. It's like there is no one radio that's going to suit one person. If you say, "Hey, I like a 7610," someone's going to be like, "No, you should have bought this radio," or "No, you should have got this radio instead." It's all horses for courses, right? So is that a term you use?
I've heard it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, we got to no. What was the term you got surprised by the other week? Chalk and cheese.
did-
That's right.
Chalk
Yeah.
and
Like
cheese,
chalk
yeah.
and cheese.
We did two comparison videos on that 7610. We did
Yeah.
a two-way and a four-way. So we did the first one like you said with the 710 and the 7300 and the 7610, and then I think everybody in the chat was like, that's an unfair comparison. Why are you doing that?" So then we did the 101 versus the 7610, I think, looking at the thumbnails.
You can go back and watch those.
John's
comparisons
saying
too.
the 101D is around 5,000 there. So in American dollars,
And also, I got the free speaker, which was worth $350.
absolutely for a speaker. I paid
And apparently that speaker's
2,800
quite good.
I paid
Those
a
are-
little over 2,800 for mine, and I bought it used from MTC Radio. I think brand new, the 7610 is about 32 to 34, and the 101D is about 32 to 34, somewhere in there.
And how long's your warranty there? We get 5-year warranty.
I don't remember. I bought mine used. I don't have it
Yeah.
anymore, so I don't know.
Because
Yeah.
some people are like, oh, you'll suffer the screen issue, and not everyone suffers the screen issue on the 7610. But even if you do, it's under warranty for 5 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when you get to
Yeah,
5
I
years,
imagine-
sell it.
I imagine it's the same warranty.
Yeah.
So James, not James on stream, but James in the chat, KC3WOZ. I think he joined as a member this time, didn't he? Way back before the stream started. He said, "Once I get my DeLorean sold, I plan to get a few radios. I know the 705 is on my list. Which should my other radio be? Primarily looking for home use for that one." So
7,300.
yeah,
Where's that? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was trying to find the question.
it was a while ago.
Yeah, for home use, I guess, is it, if you wanted for HF, it's definitely, I reckon, a 7300.
Well,
much everyone's
he's
got
got
one
the
of those, haven't they?
705. So do you just get an amp?
Yeah, you could. But then you don't have two radios, right? Two radios are better than one.
Well, yeah, you have a point. So
mean,
so
there's
get
some
the
logic to that.
705 for portable, the 9700, and the 7300 for home use.
That's what I've
There
got.
you go.
Yeah.
3 is
There you
better
go.
than 2.
Well, you need to have, you know what the formula is, right, for radios? It's N plus 1.
Correct.
That's the formula. Yep.
David,
That's
you
the
are
formula.
correct. All radios should be 7100s.
So Scott says 100-watt 705 991A killer is what we need. There is only one
7100.
problem. Yep, there is only one problem with that, though. If they made a radio that is the combined 7300, 9700, and, of those two, they won't sell anything else. They won't sell the other radios.
I know.
don't-
So why not do
they
it?
don't want it,
They'd sell them
yeah.
all.
And North for Radio says maybe ICOM will release a new HF radio for the 60th anniversary. I can almost guarantee that they'll release something for the 60th anniversary.
I
But
think
it
they should
won't be
release the
until-
7105.
It won't be until the Tokyo Ham Fair. So It won't
Yeah,
be.
they're not
Rude.
going to release any of them here.
Rude.
No. I kind of Shane's. I kind of feel like the 7300's. Do you think the 7300 is probably the most popular radio of all time?
I think so. It's got to be close.
At least modern radio.
The only downside to the 7300, the only downside is that it doesn't do 2 meter 440 like a 991A. They're priced about the same, but the 991A is older, but it has 2 meters 440 in digital. If ICOM, like Steve said, if ICOM rolled a 9700 and a 7300 together and made a 11,000, that would be the schnizzle. 440, 2 meters, D-Star, all built in one unit would be awesome.
Frank sent me in something in Discord. I can't view it while I'm on stream, so you might need to let us know what that is. Something to do with Josh's.
I think it's a new ICOM release.
Is it? How did old mate from Kenwood know that there's a new ICOM release?
Well, that's true. It could be a new Kenwood release.
I don't know. But yeah, the 7300. The only other one I can think of, maybe the 706. 706 was pretty damn popular.
Yeah.
I mean, they had 3 variants of it, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I can almost guarantee that they will come out with something. New Kenwood Mobile coming. Good. Did they listen? So have they got the replacement for this radio, the 710? If they've got a replacement for this, I'll be buying one tomorrow. Because
I like the 710. I don't have one, and I've almost bought one a couple times at Hamfests. Well,
this is my American one.
That's the one you got last year, right? At Dayton?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had to fix the head because the head was...
Having a good head is always important.
Oh, exactly. So, yeah, cool. That's good. I'm glad that they listened.
I have What radio am I getting from Shane, Steve? What is that?
FTDX 1200.
A 1200 is coming new to me from one of our friends. We're working a deal. So he is sending me an FTDX 1200, and he's getting a different radio.
The only problem with the Kenwood is that Kenwood don't sell here, so everything has to be imported.
Oh, really? Not at all in Australia?
No. I said that to, is his name? It's Don, isn't it? I said that to Don at Hamvention. And if you go back and watch my video, I said to him, he said, I think he was pretty keen when he heard that I was from Australia. And we were talking about it, and he was talking about all the history and how he loved all of his Aussie friends. I said, well, that's interesting because Kenwood don't sell in Australia anymore. And he went, yeah. I mean, it's not his fault. It's nothing to do with Kenwood America. It's Kenwood Global, but
right.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain when.
Can you imagine being a Kenwood guy or the ICOM guy or the Yaesu guy and having to listen to everybody vetch about radios at you at Hamvention?
Well, you've talked to John Kruk in person. You know what that's like.
Yes, I know what that's like. And Kruk is a nice guy, but I cannot imagine being Kruk and having to listen to,
people.
Yes.
Why doesn't this radio have this feature that's like the most obscure feature on the planet or something like that?
Right. Or every time that I do like this and I turn the knob to the left with 1.7 watts of power, then it makes the screen flash. Well, quit doing that. Shut up. Go away. Doorknob.
And it's a 45-year-old radio. Yeah, like buy a new one.
On some old-ass radio they got at a Hamfest.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would not. I can imagine that job would not be easy.
I couldn't do it. I would
being a
end up getting fired,
salesperson,
as you might have imagined.
Because if you're doing commercial sales or industrial sales, you're going to your buyer or to your
right.
those who are interested in buying, and they just take it as, oh, cool, that's the features it's got. Sure, that's what we need. But if you take it to a ham's like, why doesn't it have this? Why doesn't it have that? And it needs this and needs that.
Yeah. Mea culpa. Let he who has never said that about a radio raise his hand.
Well, I've complained about stuff like that before.
Yeah.
Yep. But there's lots of choices out there, and there's always something that can find. Like I said, horses for courses. It depends on what you want.
Horses for courses.
You're going to use that every day now, aren't you?
I'm going to go Google it first so I make sure I know what I'm saying before I say it.
Go to Urban Dictionary, realize that you shouldn't say that in mixed company.
Right. No, don't go to Urban Dictionary because they get it wrong all the time. They just make stuff up.
I just want to make sure I'm not telling, somebody something completely unpolitically correct, especially in this country.
Oh, this is a dam site. I can see the dam breast behind me.
Why is that a problem? I thought that you had free speech, so you can say whatever you want.
We do have free speech.
Horses for courses. Different people are suited to different things.
Right. So you can say anything that you want to say, and then in the U.S. they have this thing that they call canceling, where if you say something that offends the recipient who does not need your approval for anything at all in life, they take personal offense at it and do their best to shut you down, because apparently them being mean to you is okay, but you saying something out of context that they misinterpreted is not acceptable at all.
And free speech only really applies to the government. The government can't tell me what to say or not say.
Now you don't have you don't have freedom of consequences. Yeah.
Right. You're welcome to be offended by whatever I say, So
we had some people may know this. There was a story in the news by a well-known female soccer player here, and she said something to she's being taken to court because she said something to an English, because she plays over in England, an English police officer, which is when you read what she said, it's like that's not even the worst thing that someone could be called in a day here. It's not offensive whatsoever or anything like that, and it's just completely ridiculous. But anyway,
we have things that we've been saying for so long that we've actually forgot the meaning of the phrase. There's a phrase in the U.S. called the rule of thumb. Like, as a rule of thumb, I prefer decaf coffee over regular coffee. I don't. That's a use of the phrase. The phrase literally means that you're legally allowed to beat your wife with anything that no bigger than the circumference of your thumb.
That's where it came from.
And we all say it all day long. They call those microaggressions now.
Yep.
I think you're showing a microaggression right now.
By raising my hands?
Me too. You're frightening me. I feel uncomfortable in this stream right now, and I'm going to file a complaint.
Bye, Jim.
And touch the wheel of feelings.
To YouTube?
Yeah.
See, I'm offended by your drinking of Dr. Pepper. See, you can get offended of everything.
Did you see David Brown's comment? Drink the Kool-Aid.
Right? That's pretty bad.
How many people know where that one actually comes from? I do.
That was David Koresh. Is that the right crazy guy?
Nope. Jim Jones, 1970.
Jim Jones. Okay, yeah. David Koresh was the other one. David. What was he?
That was Waco.
Waco. That was bad.
That's a whole other story we should probably not talk about on YouTube. But yes, he was crazy. But yeah, Jim Jones was full on batshit crazy.
There's a lot of crazy people in the U.S. Most of them live in Florida.
Yeah, I don't drink Kool-Aid, so
you just drink Dr. Pepper.
Diet
and
Dr. Pepper.
Honestly, that why do you put cherry in everything over there?
It's not even technically cherry.
This isn't cherry,
isn't it?
No,
what was the one you gave me? Wasn't the one you gave me? You gave me cherry.
No, son.
Maybe.
If I gave you a soda, I gave you Diet Dr. Pepper.
Someone must have gave
Jim is true to course.
Someone gave me a Dr. Pepper, but it was cherry.
They do have cherry flavored Dr. Pepper.
They have cherry flavored Diet Dr. Pepper, and it's a sin. It's an abomination.
Well, you know why?
Speak of it again.
Because when you, I don't know if it's the same over here, is when you have cough medicine. Mm-hmm. All the cough medicine is cherry flavored, and as soon as I drank it, it just took me back to my childhood and having cough medicine that was cherry flavored. It's disgusting.
All the cough medicine over here tastes like Jägermeister.
We had.
Oh, that's okay.
They had this cough syrup when I was a kid. I don't remember the brand name, and it was honey and lemon. And my mom got that stuff. To this day, I cannot stand the taste of honey. Absolutely not.
I'm going to. I don't know if Kyle's in the stream, but I did try the sun dropped that he provided, and I think that was cherry as well, and that was just like I don't
Cherry
like this,
Sundra.
but I don't. But I
Well, it's
don't
like
know.
cherry lemon,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kyle's tastes are a little more esoteric than mine. Just
Right,
gonna
Joe?
go out on a limb.
So I mean, I don't
And I
know. This
couldn't
this
have-
Aussie dude brought what was that Vegemite to the U.S. and we all loved it.
Ate it. Loved
Not
it.
all.
Wasn't bad.
Not all. Not everyone.
Who was it?
Um,
Which knucklehead?
it's
Which
all
one
about
of
the
us
delivery.
knuckleheads ate a spoonful of it and then made a face that it tasted terrible?
Well, no. Well, Mike took the Milo. That was Milo powder.
Yeah,
the
it was chocolate powder.
No,
Yep.
no. I'm
He
talking
ate-
about the Vegemite. Somebody had a spoonful of
Oh.
Vegemite, didn't they?
Probably Jason. I don't know who we gave the
Might have been,
spoon to,
or
but
Frank.
it was someone who had a spoonful. And not even we do that. That's just stupid.
Well, I mean, you did it.
Yeah, because I can stand it because I've tasted
Right.
it before. But what I'm
Salt.
saying is that we don't eat it like that normally. And plus, when we did it too, it took us ages to get the toast done properly because
Yeah, the
the toast
toast
went
was
all cold and it's
Yeah.
You need warm toast, butter, Vegemite. Brilliant.
I thought the taste was a lot like anchovy paste. I mean, it's something that
I don't know what that
goes
tastes
with
like.
something. It tastes like Vegemite.
Oh.
It's ground up. It's ground up fish.
Ground up
It tastes
fish,
like
yeah.
Vegemite.
But see, when I come over there, and I said this to T.O., when I had the Coca-Cola, and it was just, ugh, I'm like, this tastes so bad, and it's because
Yeah.
of the corn
High fructose
syrup.
corn.
High
syrup.
fructose corn
That's
syrup.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, taxation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got to remember when we went to Baltimore Mike's stand, and
Oh,
it was
yeah,
that
Mexican
really hot
Coke.
day. It was that real hot day. I think it was Saturday. Was it
Yeah.
Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a real hot day, and I was just like, man, you know what the best thing would be right now is a Coke. And he's like, oh well, I've got one for you, and I'm like, nah, it's okay. I don't like the Coke here. It tastes terrible. And he's like, no, I've got the Mexican Coke. I'm like, yes.
Made with real sugar.
And it was in the
Yes.
glass.
Different kind of
too.
taxes down there. Yeah, glass bottle,
Mhm.
real sugar.
Yeah.
Yep, good stuff.
Yeah. And the chocolate, didn't like Hershey's. No good.
No.
No good.
Hershey's isn't real chocolate.
You need to have Cadbury's. That's ours. That's real chocolate. Real sugar, real chocolate.
If you do come over, we need to, or we're just going to make a shipment, and I'll just send you the postage for it. I want some Tim Tams, son. I looked
Oh,
on
yeah.
Amazon.
You can get them on
and it's like-
Amazon.
yeah, it's like
Yeah, but-
$35 for a pack.
You'd be see. I
Oh, pack of Tim
could get Tim Tams a pack for probably. I'm trying to think in US dollars. Probably less than $2 a pack. So you
Yeah.
could get lots and lots and lots of them. So the smartest thing would be is to get a full suitcase and fill up a full suitcase, 23 kilos or 40 pounds worth of Tim Tams,
Of Tim Tams.
and then and then fill the suitcase up with radio equipment coming back. The only problem is I wonder if you get to customs and they'd be like, why are you importing 40 pounds worth
You're
of
trying
Tim
to
Tams
smuggle
in?"
something in the Tim Tam wrappers, or they'd melt, and you'd have a suitcase full of goo when you got here.
Yeah. And they're not too bad. They're not too bad, Tim Tams. I mean, they're not my most favorite biscuit, but they're not too bad.
Biscuit. What do you call a
Well,
candy bar?
they're known as a biscuit. So
I know. I can translate Australian in my head.
candy bar. What do we call a candy bar?
Yeah, I mean, you call it candy
just a
bar a
chocolate-
candy bar. Do you call it a sweet or something like that? A chocolate?
Yes, a sweet chocolate,
Like
chocolate bar.
Cookies or biscuits, chips or crisps.
Right.
No, we
In-
don't say
in-
crisps.
in
we say
UK.
chips.
Scones
Yeah,
are
we say
what we
chips.
call biscuits.
Cheap,
Right.
cheap as.
Yeah, we say chips. I don't think we. Some people might say crisps, but no, we say chips.
For potato chips?
Yeah. Well, for potato chips and regular fries chips as well.
All
So,
chips. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
they're
just
pretty
all
much
chips.
the same thing, just different format.
Sometimes we'll say fries, but yeah, just mainly chips. Yeah, one of the VK3 guys, he does take a case of Tim Tams every year. Yeah, he uses them as bargaining chips and currency. So, why do you never use the term kilograms when you go through customs? Does that flag something up, or I wonder why?
I
Well,
don't use it.
I mean, I've never met Jody, but he seems kind of sketchy. So they probably see him at customs and think he's hauling, booger sugar or something. Especially if he uses the word kilo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
So
Canadian.
Rob,
You know how those guys are, right?
yeah, back to radio. I know this is going to be a stretch for us, but Rob is asking about a recommendation for studying for general, and he's got a condition and wants to know about any suggestions for radio. Rob, since you brought it up, I'm going to say what I Googled to find out what that word means. And it means you've got like muscle spasms on your right side, which would mean that your left side's okay. If I'm getting this wrong, let me know. But most radios can be operated one-handed. So any radio that you want is my game. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that.
Potentially a software radio of some sort. Because then you can use the mouse and keyboard, which might be easier, depending on your condition, than holding your hand up on a desk or something like that, right?
What are some physical radios? You can use software to control them, so you don't need to buy just a software radio.
You can use a keyboard and a mouse with a 7610, as a matter of fact.
Yep. Yeah, because they got the USB on them, don't they?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And you can also use the remote software too.
Yep. The other ones that I can think of, and SKT is not here because he would have opinions on this, but you would have something like the Sun.
Don, have opinions?
I know, right? What is the one that Ape has? Is that the Hermes Light or is that the Anon?
The Hermes Light is the one that's like famous right now for being a really good software-defined radio.
What's the one that Chuck got that he could actually figure
and
out?
And affordable. Chuck got the Hermes Light, but the one he got before that was the ELAD.
That's right, the EGAD.
Yeah, and there was an ELAD for sale at Hamcation, and Rob found it. I don't know if Rob bought it, but Rob found it. I found it too. That was pretty cool.
Jody is going to be at Dayton. That's awesome, dude.
So apparently kilos is a drug reference. So does that just mean that the entire rest of the world that uses metric is
well,
yes.
if you're at an American airport and you're spewing out kilos, we think you're sketchy to begin with. So
this is why we're talking about the imperial measurements over here. We're not drug addicts.
So if I turn up at the airport and they go, "What's in your bag, sir?" and I say, "Oh yeah, mate, yeah, I probably got around about 10 kilos worth of Tim Tams," they're going to be like, "You're dodgy because you did not say
you're going to get a full cavity
pounds.
Search." Yeah, that's right.
So what you're saying is I should go up and say, yeah, g'day, mate. Hold on. I've got about 25 pounds worth of Tim Tams. Yeah, no worries. Through you go.
Straight on through.
We're all good. Yep,
yes, exactly. Well, they don't know what Tim Tams are. And when you say kilos, it's like two things that don't add up to them.
Well, if you say I've got 25 kilos of chips, son, you are getting the extra special deep probing in the back with rubber gloves and a speculum.
Michael says that he should go to Hamvention.
About 20% off the top there, Jimbo.
Michael says you should go to Hamvention, but VK6 is the longest trip you can do. So he's in Perth, Western Australia, not Perth, but Western Australia. Where I have is directly opposite, almost Bermuda. Yeah, that is a long way. That is tough.
So he can't fly from Perth. He's got to come to the east side of Australia to get here. Is that what he's saying?
Well, it would be quicker to go from Western Australia to the east coast of Australia and then onto the US. But they're almost at the spot where they could go via London to get there, which is a long way around. I don't know which way is the shorter. I would imagine that going via the east coast of Australia, because remember, Australia and the US are pretty much almost exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same, but almost the same width, right? Distance between California and New York's probably about the distance from Sydney to Perth. So it's a long way to travel. So I don't know which way would be best. Maybe it would be better to go through London, because if you
trust a hand to go a long path, right, Jody?
Right. Yeah, if you go to London, then at least you can hop over the. I don't know how long is it from London to say the east coast of the US? Like
it's about
8 hours.
Probably about 8 hours. 9 hours. It took me 7 hours to get from the Azores to New Jersey on a C-141. So I'd say London's probably another hour, hour and a half at most.
Yeah. See, because you're going to be going, if you go the other way, you're going to be going Perth to Sydney, Sydney to the US West Coast, and then you're going to have to work out a way of trying to get across from there. So that's going to be at least 24 hours there. I don't know which way would be quicker.
Not over the top. Probably not.
Over the bottom.
South.
Go over the bottom. Yeah, go over Antarctica.
They don't fly planes over Antarctica.
I wonder
Yes,
why.
well, not directly.
Because they go off the
fly
edge of the flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
They fly pretty close. So when they fly from Sydney to Santiago, they go pretty close to Antarctica. And no, you're wrong. They do fly over Antarctica. Commercial planes do fly over Antarctica.
I saw YouTube that said they don't.
Qantas.
Well, then it must be true.
It's got to be true, son.
Qantas have 4 flights a year, and they fly 2 from Sydney, 2 from Melbourne, and they fly over Antarctica as a sightseeing ride on a full-size commercial jet airliner.
Not a special trip to deliver supplies or anything.
No, they don't land. They land and take off at the same airport. It's like 8 hours round trip or 10 hours round trip or something like that.
If your plane goes down in Antarctica, your day is ruined.
Well,
that'd be awesome.
Well, if your plane goes down anywhere, you're kind of ruined. So
probably, but I mean, it's extra special, frozen ruined.
Well, just remember, if you're going across the Pacific Ocean, there is not a lot of places to land in some spots along the Pacific Ocean, right? So
yeah, but you have about 5 minutes of flotation time to say your goodbyes.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's much better.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's a map of one of those routes.
Out and back.
Oh, see, they're not overflying the whole.
Not the whole continent, no.
That's what I saw was that there's no commercial flights that go over Antarctica.
Not to get to the other side, no.
Right. And see, on the northern routes, if you go, like when I went to Korea and Japan, I left from here to Atlanta, Atlanta to Detroit, and then Detroit over the top to Narita Airport in Japan to Tokyo, and then Tokyo to Seoul.
Actually, that's probably a good.
Right.
That's probably a good point too. Is that they will fly the shortest time. So flying from east to west is the quickest way, not the other way. Here we go.
Well, you should also be able to cheat time zones too.
There you go. There's one he's not too far away, but he's down there. That's not from Santiago. That's from Chile, isn't it? Oh, no, it is from Santiago, yeah. Santiago's in Chile, yeah.
Santiago is in Chile, yeah.
South America, yeah. So
Jody wants to know if there's something new about MH370.
Other than they keep saying that Whisper can find it.
Right.
No, I saw
Not really
something
sure how
the other
that's
day.
possible.
There was some lady, and I can't remember who she was with. This was on the news, and based on her research, Googling, she was kind of an expert or something. I don't remember the details. She's saying it's a lot farther north than where they're looking for it. It's not down there in the ocean by where.
Well, if she knows, why doesn't she just tell us where it is?
So this is popping up in the media because I think it's been like 10 years since it disappeared.
10
so
years.
that's why it's popping up. The thing about it though is that I think
years.
I read
Wow.
I read yesterday there's a former Australian pilot who spoke about this who probably has the most logical thing about it. And he said that for some reason the flight logs said that there was extra oxygen put into the tanks for the crew, but not for the passengers. Apparently there's 2 different oxygen paths. And
That's
then
nice.
there was extra fuel put on as well at the last minute put on. Anyway, all of this stuff, he reckons it was just a controlled ditch down off the coast of Western Australia, like deep in the Indian Ocean somewhere in some trench, because it would be a good spot to literally bury a plane underneath the water and you'd never ever find it again. Because I mean, if the thing crashed into the water, you're going to find
Bits of stuff floating.
Crap.
everywhere. And
Yeah.
if it still had fuel on board, you'll be able to find the fuel. It'll be
You see a spill,
'cause- yeah, you'll see the spill. But obviously the fuel, he's just run it till it's run dry and then just ditched it in the ocean somewhere
So,
and then just let
you
the
know-
thing flood.
You know, the whole MH370 thing was really the beginning of Jim's long plan to take that tower from Jasper.
Right.
Did you end up going up there?
No.
How far away was it again?
It's about 100, 120 miles, something like that. It's not
Yeah, but
far.
remember, it was outside.
What does that got to do with it?
You don't go outside.
I don't go
No, he
POTA.
goes out.
I go
Everybody
outside
knows
the
you don't go
planet.
Once a year.
outside.
I don't go POTA.
What's your opinion on the changes to POTA as a big POTA user, Jim? You're going to be
Doesn't
worried
bother
about
me.
changing the abbreviations,
No.
the prefixes?
No, but apparently the Facebook group has Shane on a hit list because he was talking about it in the Facebook POTA group. And he mentioned hammers, which apparently gets them all riled up over there.
It kind of makes sense though to change the prefixes to something that's a universal international standard, right?
Right.
Because K doesn't really mean much to anything. So, but whereas US does.
Why
K,
do they
K
even
means
name
something
it K?
to
I don't-
U.S. history.
Mm.
There was a reason, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, we're changing to AU. There is a list of dates. So it's like I think they're doing one or two countries a day over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So they're not doing it all at once with one big switch, but
So the U.S. POTA program named it K after the U.S. ham radio prefix of K, like Kilo Mike 9 Golf.
Oh,
that's
but-
not the only
you,
prefix,
isn't
though.
it? Okay.
But I can't remember why they did K, W, and N, and now A something through A something else in the U.S. originally. Like I don't remember what the original standard was. But I think I was saying this on a show the other day. I think that they should have changed it to be the prefix that the country's call sign uses. Like Australia is VK, Canada should be like VE or VA, along those lines.
Mhm.
well, ours is. Ours
Yes,
our code
yours
VK.
is, but not every
But
country's like that.
No, but we're changing it. We're changing to AU now,
Yeah,
which doesn't really matter.
I don't care enough to have an argument about it. You know.
No.
All right, fine. I'll
It'll
change.
just
No big
the
deal.
only thing is it'll just break some things, but people can fix those. People.
I
can
guess I'm
fix
not
breaks.
I guess I'm not a real ham. I don't like to argue. And Lee is correct. W was
What?
East Coast, K was West Coast.
Perth via Chicago to Dayton is 27 hours, 47 minutes travel time. Via
Oh my
London
God.
is 28 hours, 25 minutes. That must include stopovers, I guess. Long way. Well, I coming back from Chicago to back home here was pretty close to 24 hours.
I think you should stay longer.
Stay longer than 3 weeks.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
to maximize your on in country time.
Then it costs even more.
Well, it amortizes
also-
the cost of the flight over a longer period of time, so it makes the flight cheaper.
Come
I
over here
also
and
have a
enjoy
no-
our affordable healthcare plans.
Yeah.
You know,
I also have a 9 to 5 job too.
who cares?
One thing I would like to do is I would like to come over and not be sick like I was last time. I didn't feel well last time I come over. And when I mean sick, it didn't. No one else got sick. It was just I got sick because of the travel. I was just not used
Yeah.
to it. So 45 don't stay longer, just stay. I like this country. I like living here. But I mean, everyone says that about where they live currently, right? So
No. I haven't heard many people. It's funny. I see people fly the U.S. flag all the time, and then not one of them says why they're proud to be here. They just argue about how crappy the current president that they don't like is, whichever
Unless
one
they
it
live in
happens to be.
I love being
unless
here.
they-
I wouldn't be in another country. Period.
unless they live in Texas,
No, yeah. Then they talk about how awesome Texas is.
yeah,
Whatever.
but not the US.
Right.
Oh, Yeah, you've never. So you've been to Korea, Jim, but you haven't. Have you been anywhere else?
Korea and the Azores, and
You haven't been
a few other places.
because Ape's been down under. He likes it down here.
I have never been to Australia. I would love to go, but I just can't see going to Australia for a couple weeks. I don't have that big YouTuber cash that you have.
Right.
You can
I have
go
to use
from
toilet paper. I can't use the dollars, man. I can't.
What's
You-
not fair,
you
David?
can-
What did I say?
well, the US. If you're coming from there to Australia, it's a very cheap
Oh,
holiday
you
because
like
everything's
Biden.
cheaper. Remember,
Right?
you're
My
paying
dollar goes
half.
far.
Yeah, so you should probably the closest airport's Dallas, Fort Worth. Fly out of there and come here.
No,
be able to-
Atlanta.
oh.
I'd go to Atlanta.
Yeah, but not direct. I meant you'd have to go to another international airport to get here.
There's no directs from Atlanta to Australia?
Nope,
I'll be darned.
nope, none.
So
I told you where they all fly. They fly on your side of the pond, Dallas and New York.
That's right.
So,
I think we have directs to Dallas from here, so I'd have to go to Dallas, change airplanes, and yada yada.
Yeah. I'll meet you in Melbourne or Sydney. Bring
Let me
T.O.
see.
with you.
Let me
Right.
Google this.
Bring
I'd be
T.O.
afraid I
with
wouldn't be
Huntsville.
coming back.
Why
Let's
is that?
see.
Why wouldn't you come back?
There's really not much
you'd
keeping me
arrive
here.
and you'd be like, "This place is too good. Look at the sandy beaches."
I know. I know.
Could we
Never
meet
going
Olivia Newton-John?
Well, it'd be a bit hard because
Right.
she's no longer
I know
alive.
that. I know that. I was there when she. I know.
Nicole
I felt the
Kidman,
disturbance
maybe.
when she passed.
Nicole Kidman, maybe.
Oh, not even in the neighborhood. $2,800 round trip.
Is that all? That's not bad.
From
So that's-
Alabama to Dallas.
From Montgomery. No, from Montgomery to Hobart. That's the whole way.
This is an incorrect statement. Not
Yeah.
everything wants to.
Hank is
to
right.
tell you. Hank is right.
Hank is right.
Hank is right. I don't know where she lives now. She probably still lives here. I don't think she does much in Hollywood.
She's your
anymore.
next door neighbor. You're just not telling us.
Let's see.
Probably.
Depending
Probably.
on which flight.
So, 4-5, I have
59
heard that
hours
that
and
is
12
not
minutes.
100% true about Australia. Like, I hear that it's illegal, but then I hear there's. So, what I have learned
What's
about
that?
gun laws, and it's probably not really kosher to say, but what I've heard is that, like, the U.S., it's free to have them. You have a constitutionally protected right to have them, and then tons and tons of restrictions. And in other countries, you're not allowed to have them, and tons of loopholes that allow you to have them. But in the end of the day, at the end of the days, you can still have, like, you can have the same things that we can have. We can have the same things that you can have. It's just the positioning
Pretty
of
much.
the law that's different.
Well,
Pretty much.
now that's one thing I got to say about Alabama. Constitutional carry, open carry, no stupid freedom seed dispenser limitations or anything like that. No idiot laws like several states north and west of here. So,
Drop
Sorry,
bears,
what
right,
were we
Ronnie?
talking about?
You're talking about drop bears.
Is that why you're only worried about what you can carry here? Is because you want to not get killed by a drop bear?
Exactly.
right. Well, actually, I'm more worried about the ruse.
John,
True,
don't
John.
say
Bastards
that.
could
Don't-
ruin you, man.
Don't say that, John, because they don't like it when we say that Queensland's like double the size of Texas.
Texas
is
doesn't
a
like it
tiny-
when you. Texas don't like
Say
it
that.
when you point out that Alaska's a whole lot bigger than Texas.
Well, Alaska is huge.
Yes, much bigger than Texas.
Louisiana looks like a good state. I heard South Carolina just passed something new too.
Yep. Yeah, we've gotten two states have passed constitutional carry in the last couple 3 weeks.
How do I get this image larger? There we go.
Enhance.
Texas is tiny. Look, it
Yeah.
doesn't even carry. It's probably not even 50% the size of Queensland. It's tiny. And WA, Western Australia, is massive. That is huge.
Now there's a lot of nothing in the middle, right?
So pretty much, pretty much
Where it
here there is a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, Jody's got a point. Canadian territories are pretty big.
Oh boy, here we go. I was listening to somebody yesterday on POTA, and it was a VK call, and I don't remember what he said, which park he said. He said there was one park in Canada that stretched pretty much the entire length of Canada, which I thought was an interesting statement.
Top to bottom or east to west?
East to west.
So you have to turn it on its side? Or
Like
is it
regular Canada, from east coast to west coast or something like that.
I don't know much about Canadian geography.
It's north and it's cold, and they speak French. That covers it. And they have
some places.
They have French cowboys on the west side of Canada. And moose.
We
and
got
Timbits.
these.
And Timbits.
These aren't too bad.
Is that you in that picture? Wow.
That is not me. That is a funnel web spider, probably I think the most venomous spider in the world, or one of the most venomous spiders in the world.
And he's just casually holding it and showing it to the camera.
Yeah. They're not that bad. Well, we don't have funnel web spiders where I live. It's not warm enough for them.
That you
They're
know
mainly
of.
up in. No, we don't. We don't. It's too warm. It's
the
not,
Trans-Canada Trail, no hyphen. Jody really wishes it had a hyphen.
I can see that.
There's not that many things that'll kill you here. Snakes are the big one, but they don't kill you. We've got too many.
Jody gifting the memberships.
Too many anti-venoms.
We got Jeff AA4BC, Chris KI4WCO, Ted W, Jason, Cyberman, KB1WSE, and The Damned. All got new memberships from our buddy Jody. Thank you, Jody.
He needs some milk.
Thank you, Jody.
It's getting cold. I needed to dance.
Thank you, Jody. And thanks, Theo, for finding out, because it doesn't show up in StreamYard. Who gets
No, it shows up in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. All right. So what's on for the rest of the week for you guys?
I'm at a very weird park, so most of the rest of the week is going to be moving my trailer around from site to site because all the sites here are like this.
Is that a POTA there?
No, this is a U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which for some reason they decided not to add to the POTA program.
All right.
Maybe soon.
Maybe it's private land or something, or I don't know.
It's still government land. There's rules for what parks get into the POTA program, and they have to be searchable via some database or something along those lines.
Yes, Ted, subscribe to Temporary Offline Ham Radio and Living for a Living and Temporarily Offline Retro and
Coffee and Ham Radios.
Coffee and Ham Radios and FEP Labs and...
Are you tired after you go through all the TO's channels?
Goodness gracious.
I'm not.
Thank you, Jason, for the $5 super chat.
I'm just trying to stay warm.
The music keeps stopping. It's throwing off my rhythm.
Is it?
Yeah. See?
Hey, look, you got Tio in the background too.
Right?
Oh, dear. Hey, are those
What happened to Jim?
behind you? Are those people down behind you still think that you're a bit crazy? I can see them down there.
Yeah, probably. That's a weird angle. Yeah, they're over there playing, and then there's some kids over there playing football. It's a cool place.
Football.
Football.
That's not really football.
Right.
With
American football.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. What happened to Jim?
Whoops.
There he is.
Oh.
I've been in
press
the
the wrong
back
button?
signaling you. I was like, hey, can you see?
Yes. Oh, dear.
Jason is
Very
correct.
And what have
Cyberman.
What have you got on Big Jim?
I have a prototype of the car vertical. Hopefully Chuck actually got it in the mail and it should be here. I'm hoping tomorrow. So I got to build that and do a video on that. I dropped a video on this today.
Nice.
And then the second monthly FEP Lab supporters Zoom call is Wednesday evening.
Nice.
So
I haven't seen your video yet. Is that the antenna it comes with, Jim?
No, and so it does not come with an antenna. You have to
Ugh.
BYOA. And I
Bayoya.
bought this off of eBay, and the guy that I bought it from threw in these two antennas. I got another one just like this. And they say in the documentation, you might feel the need to buy a little stubby antenna, but you really should buy a real one because it'll work a whole lot better.
Well, it's only a 1 watt radio.
1 watt or half watt. You can actually go to half watt on it.
Oh, you can go to half a watt. Nice.
Yes.
what's this new car vertical you were talking about?
Oh, the Poseidon. Yes, sir.
The what?
And
The Poseidon? Did you say?
Poseidon.
The Poseidon. Yes.
Well, isn't that going to sink?
No,
he was
Poseidon
the god
is
of the
the
sea.
god of the sea.
Not that
Oh,
cheesy
right.
movie from the 70s.
The Poseidon Adventure. That was a great movie,
The
actually.
morning
So when's-
after.
So what's the vertical? Give us the lowdown, the goss, if you can.
40-6, I think.
Yes, 40 to
Is that
6.
right?
It's a 25-foot vertical,
Yep.
and that's the magic of it, is that it's a very
Holy
compact, portable
moly.
antenna. 20? Scott, you realize how much
Well-
work I got to do for this?
Well,
That's a
first
lot
of
of
all, we have
dancing.
to say thanks to Michael for becoming a YouTube member first, too.
The memberships are still being gifted out. I've got time.
Y'all all need to be dancing there in the background. I'm just saying.
And Scott's gifted 20. So go through them,
All right.
Theo.
All right, let's do this. David M. Wilson, Jeff Cowan, 45 Auto, Darren VK4GEO Archer, Tracy Kennedy, KI5UXN, The Happy Ham, Thor K0TJT, Greg W5CBW, Mark Kidd WM9K, Ray Mears, a Streaming Ham, KZ4EA. Ed didn't get one. No, sorry. John Marsh, VK3KRL, David KD9WTA, Litho Mike, North 49 Radio, Fabio Gomes, that's my fault. And Chris Bricker didn't get one. Veterans Ham Shack, All That's Random, Michael KD5GLX, and I think that's all of y'all. All y'all. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Scotty. Big Scotty with the 20 memberships. That's amazing.
Nice.
So, man, if we keep on going, everyone in the chat's going to have a membership by the end of it.
Yeah, they're all green right now. The entire page of the YouTube chat on my screen is all green.
It's green.
Everyone is green. Good stuff. Well, thank you very much. So I've got a video coming up on where is it? Here it is.
On the
These
7610?
the other day. Well, there's that, yes, too. But I've got one of these. Let me get out of the wrapping so it's a bit easier to see on camera.
YouTube is crazy with ads now, Dave. Yeah.
I got one of those off eBay. This
What
is
is
a power
that?
splitter. It is
Nice.
a 4-way power splitter, and there is 1 input and 4 outputs. 380 to 2500 megahertz. I'm going to use this as a GPS antenna splitter. So I've got lots of different GPSs that I plug separate antennas into, but I only want one antenna outside.
Right.
So I'm going to put one antenna in. One port is going to pass through DC to power that active antenna. I'm messing myself up here. From one port to the other port, so to power the active antenna. Then the other 3 ports, I'm going to put DC blocking capacitors because obviously the power comes through. You don't want that going back around and into the other receivers.
That is like what we call, and I don't know, I call a drop amplifier, except that passes power, which a typical drop amplifier, the ones I have, don't.
Kind of, yes. This will also have some insertion loss as well.
Right.
But
Right.
because GPS is pretty strong, if you have a decent antenna outside it, and the GPS receivers these days are pretty good, it should be all right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I've used a cable TV, literally a cable TV drop amplifier, 1 innie and 4 outies, and ran 4 SDRs at the same time, doing different things off of one single antenna. It's freaking awesome. And we had somebody on call, and I don't remember who it was that did that. Steve, do you remember who that was?
I don't
He had
remember.
a bunch
No.
of scanner guys stuff. I don't remember. But speak of the devil, there he is.
Hi, Don.
Don.
So Don's right. So the GPS DO will go on one of these ports, probably port 1, and that'll be the one that will power the antenna. And then the other 3, I'll put DC blocking capacitors so that the power from those receivers can't go through and you don't have nasties here and blow things up. Jody, all 4 ports DC pass through for sure. A lot of those 4-ways have one. No, yes, they are all pass through. So yes, it does need to be modified. So it just need to cut a couple of tracks and solder in a capacitor or 2.
Yeah.
So it should
Our buddy John wants to know why it has 4 GPS receivers, or why you have those.
So I have in my development environment here, I have multiple GPS receivers for my repeater projects. So they all require different antennas for their GPS receivers. So when I'm testing them, I have all of the GPS antennas sitting in the window here, which doesn't work very well because it doesn't see much of the sky. So I want to have a GPS antenna outside, out in the clear, run a cable into this splitter, and then off to those devices so that I can power them all at the same time. GNSS. So this won't just do GPS. This will do the others as well. But I mainly just use the US GPS system because
because America,
Eagles,
because America, but also
Eagles.
because of the the boards that I use don't accept the GPS NEMA strings from the Russian. What's the Russian one? GLONASS. And what's the Chinese one? Starts with B.
Baidu?
Bidet, something like that. Whatever it is.
Bidet?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bidet, it's a toilet.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, whatever it is, I can't remember. But so I have to go into the GPS and disable the GPS receiver and disable those other systems so that I only get one.
Baidu.
Michael.
EP said Baidu.
Michael has become a YouTube member, even though people have been giving them out like they're...
He had to buy his own.
He had to buy his own.
I'm waiting for the police to show up and carry Steve away.
Oh, here we go. Now Ed's in on it.
Is there anyone on this channel that doesn't have a membership at this point?
YouTube's taking a while to figure out who got them. YouTube's like, there's nobody here that doesn't have a membership already. Russie B got one. Ben KC9 UNS, Paul Sturm, Greg Euler. Yeah, that's me. W3PAK. Yep, I can't do that one either. Rajmund SP6MDX. Yeah, y'all got memberships. So all the mispronunciations are on me.
Burn. Maybe we should. Maybe we'll have to have a chat about this supporters chat. Maybe we can flick out a link for the members supporters chat. Although you'll probably have about 100 of my members sitting on your on your chat. Oh dear. Here we go. Now Michael's got on it. Michael's
Very good.
become a YouTube member.
Woohoo!
Oop, wrong one. Thank you, Michael. I don't know why I keep going back.
It's cold here. I'm dancing.
Arrest you, son. You know, when I hear that song, I think of the hamster dance.
No, I can't play that. Don't. We'll get a copyright request.
That was dead on to sped up Roger Miller.
Yeah.
Dee-ba-dee-dee-do-do.
G'day. Mick Dundee from Australia. How are you?
How are you?
I've got all sorts of things on here. Oops.
Knife. That's a knife.
This guy brought a horse trailer. And not a combination horse trailer that's behind me.
Yeah.
Not a combination
Come on,
horse trailer,
Callum.
camping trailer. Just a straight up horse
Just what
trailer.
I needed. Just what I needed.
I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that did not come from the
Vuvuzela.
trailer behind you.
No.
That's not a vuvuzela. That's
It's
just
not?
an air horn.
No,
That's just
it's
an air
not a
horn.
vuvuzela.
No.
You don't have a Vuvuzela on your soundboard? Come on.
I used to
I
have
wanna
a
see
Catch
how
up
many
with 20
more
years
times-
ago.
I want
I
to
used
see
to
how
buy
many
it. I
more
had a
times we can
vuvuzela.
throw the word vuvuzela in the stream.
I used to have can you imagine the closed captioning after this trying to spell Vuvuzela?
You can't pitch to Zoom on StreamYard, boys. Can't do it. StreamYard won't let you.
I had a Vuvuzela when that World Cup was on. I bought one.
Did you see a doctor?
Was it loud? Oh,
Yeah.
It was loud.
It doesn't penicillin fix that? I thought it did.
It was just. Jim, told you about that. Oh, dear. Well, that's the good thing about this stream. It's all nonsense anyway, so.
Right. Can't go wrong because there is no right.
So, thanks. Jesus just said, thanks. I forgot about the Vuvuzela. Yeah.
I called it a vuvuzela. I don't.
You got to be careful what you call it, don't you?
Yes, it's kind of a dirty word almost.
It is. Yep. Speaking of dirty words, To, we're actually it's actually good that we've got Jim on. Yeah, it's actually good that we've got Jim on tonight.
I was wondering if we were going to get to this story or not.
Well, so this is the thing. We've been trying for weeks and weeks to release the story, and every single
just
time
one goat, man.
The censors, man, the censors.
Well, it's the problem is that what happens is YouTube must just know that they don't want that story getting out on the internet, because what happens is the internet just drops, the stream just drops every single time.
I know.
So the thing about Jim, and we could